I know you've been in dental industry for a long time. I know you're doing an amazing thing. One thing that
Thank
you
you.
mentioned before we came on is that you're starting a new journey, and I really want to figure out what are you doing. What is
Sure.
the new journey? What's the exciting thing that you're doing?
So 2026 is going to be my best year ever in my career. And I know that even though we're still finishing up the last few days of December 2025, but honestly, so grateful and blessed. My business Hygiene Headquarters is on fire. We're growing across Canada. We're going to move into North America. And now I have a new initiative that really excites me. Dentists and teams all over North America struggle. They struggle with, mastering clinical conversations, roadblocks, insurance, getting instruments on a timely manner without begging for dental hygiene, and so much more. Onboarding, retention, having one-on-one reviews. We just don't know how to do this. So my colleague, friend, and I, we created Thrive Dental Training, and it's going to launch just inside of 2026. So, as consultants, we go in a lot of practices, fresh eyes, we see things. But sometimes somebody calls and they're like, hey, can you come to like Winnipeg, Canada, in the middle of winter where it's freezing? And it's costly for them. It's exciting, but maybe step one is let's work on Thrive Dental Training, where we provide 52 challenges and solutions all through a platform with a monthly Zoom call. Let's get level set, base, get it all done, and then look out. So we're working with some really amazing companies. I can't share just yet, but honestly, 2026 is the year, my friends.
Man, I love that.
Thank
Master,
you.
that's what I needed. 2026 is the year of
It
greatness.
is. It is, right? When you surround yourself with great people and you serve others and you just
Absolutely.
give, it just keeps coming back, not because you're looking for it, but it finds you. And I know it sounds really but it's so true, right?
No, it is. It is. I think me and Masood, we're working on building Dent Med and the stuff that
Yeah.
we're doing with his company, Alo Ai, always the conversation that I have with them from a perspective of a dentist, I always say you gotta build value for people and let people see. All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of Dent Med podcast. Today, we are honored to have with us Ms. Turner, CEO of Hygiene Headquarters, globally recognized leader in dental hygiene, Jennifer impressive achievement, including being named one of the top 10 most admired women in business for 2025, as well as earning the title of Dr. Bicuspid Educator of the Year in 2023 and 2024. Additionally, she was recognized as one of the 10 most influential healthcare leaders in 2022. With a wealth of experience in advancing dental hygiene practice and passion for empowering a healthcare professional, Jennifer is a true trailblazer in our field. Miss Jennifer, we are thrilled to have you here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be on
Yes,
here. I've been watching
absolutely.
the buzz around what you're doing, and I was honored to be asked to be a guest. So thank you.
Absolutely. Is the buzz a good buzz or is it a bad buzz?
Of course, it's a good buzz. If it was a bad buzz, I wouldn't be here, right? Awesome buzz. Yeah. Really proud of you.
Thank you, because the last time somebody said that, me and Master said,
It's all good.
well, Miss Jennifer, I really appreciate it. I know, I don't know what it is, but I think that this month of December, it's like a Canadian month because that's like we were just
Woohoo!
talking about. It's a Dent Med Canadian month podcast.
That's awesome. You know what? We're all friends. So the more we can share and help each other, the better it is, right? It's
I say it
okay.
depends. I say it depends. It depends who you ask. If you ask Donald Trump, probably not.
Well, we love Americans, and I hope Americans love the Canadians, right?
Well, definitely. I
Know
hope
about
so.
that, but
Well,
Yeah.
Miss Jennifer, I wanted to ask, I know you've been in dental industry for a long time. I know you're doing an amazing thing. One thing that
Thank
you
you.
mentioned before we came on is that you're starting a new journey. And I really want to figure out what are you doing? What is
Sure.
the new journey? What's the exciting thing that you're doing?
So 2026 is going to be my best year ever in my career. And I know that even though we're still finishing up the last few days of December 2025, but honestly, so grateful and blessed. My business Hygiene Headquarters is on fire. We're growing across Canada. We're going to move into North America. And now I have a new initiative that really excites me. Dentists and teams all over North America struggle. They struggle with, mastering clinical conversations, roadblocks, insurance, getting instruments on a timely manner without begging for dental hygiene, and so much more. Onboarding, retention, having one-on-one reviews. We just don't know how to do this. So my colleague, friend, and I, we created Thrive Dental Training, and it's going to launch just inside of 2026. So as consultants, we go in a lot of practices, fresh eyes, we see things. But sometimes somebody calls and they're like, hey, can you come to Winnipeg, Canada in the middle of winter where it's freezing? And it's costly for them. It's exciting, but maybe step one is let's work on Thrive Dental Training where we provide 52 challenges and solutions all through a platform with a monthly Zoom call. Let's get level set base, get it all done, and then look out. So we're working with some really amazing companies. I can't share just yet, but honestly, 2026 is the year, my friends.
Man, I love that.
Thank
Master,
you.
that's what I needed. 2026 is the year of
It
greatness.
is. It is, right? When you surround yourself with great people and you serve others and you just
Absolutely.
give, it just keeps coming back, not because you're looking for it, but it finds you. And I know it sounds really but it's so true, right?
No, it is. It is. I think me and Masood, we're working on building Dent Med and the stuff that
Yeah.
we're doing with his company, Alo Ai, always the conversation that I have with them from a perspective of a dentist, I always say you gotta build value for people and let people see the value. Then you can, one, gain their trust, and second, you can gain their business. Because if you're just going straight for the kill and saying give, 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 there's no trust. But if you're able to build that and give them the value, it's just so much easier to transition those people into your customers, your patient, whatever the case may be. Even with dentistry, as I do dentistry, I'm like,
Mhm.
if you don't show patient the value of the work that you're doing, whether it's a crown, it's a filling, it's a SRP, patients are gonna be like, I'm not sure. They just walk out, right? So
I, I, s-
it's big on values for sure.
I so agree, Doc. And what I believe in, two things: consistent education. If you have scanners, they need to be used on every patient, a scan once a year. If you have intraoral cameras, you can't just pick and choose, or I don't feel like doing this, because the patients deserve better than that. And so use your technology, track it. I believe in measure what matters. How many scans? How many scans a day? What did you plan on? But what did you actually do? And what came out of it? How many clear liner cases came of it? How many night guards? Share with the team, not in a punitive way, but in a really educational way. And when you talk value, if patients don't see it, they don't believe it. They think, hey, you just want my money, right? So we can do better than that.
For sure.
We can.
Yeah, absolutely, we can. The one thing I wanted to ask, and I believe since you are in the with your other business, the hygiene headquarter, the one thing
Yeah.
I wanted to ask was because I have seen a lot of disconnect in our industry between the hygiene and the doctors, and feel that sometimes the hygienists feel like they don't get the respect they deserve from the doctor perspective.
Hmm.
What are you seeing in that, and how can that relationship get better clinically, both for the doctor and hygienist?
Yeah. I love this question. I really wish we weren't even talking about it because we should respect one another. We have different scope of practice. We're so much better together. And the big thing is our patients feel it when we're disconnected. So hygienists, I always say, what do you do to set the dentist up for success? If they come in your room for the exam, and you're in the lunchroom, we have a problem. If you're not prompting them or you don't have the x-rays up, you don't have the images they need from the scanner, prompt them, share, help, work together. And the only way is up, and communication. I'm a big, big stickler on morning meetings. Let's talk, let's communicate. And I also feel dentists, hygienists, and the patient should be that triangle of care. I shouldn't be whispering to you over in the sterilization center. I should be sharing my information right in front of the patient so they hear us talk in layman's terms right about them, not whispering in sterilization where they're trying to, like, hear what we're saying, but we really provide them with that experience. Because you guys, we know dentists are a dime a dozen. You can go anywhere. So I often ask doctors, why do your patients come to your practice? How are you different? And I have this one really cool thing, and you guys might roll your eyes at me, but I have a friend in Miami who does not let her patients wait longer than 5 minutes in the waiting room. And she is known for that. Doesn't mean that they see her or the hygienist, but an amazing system where somebody on the team goes to fill out the medical history with them or goes to take the x-rays with them. Like, these are gems that people know. This practice respects my time, and it bridges like a nice gap between hygienists and dentists when we work together, right?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's such an important things that you just talked about. I'm taking notes, Miss Jennifer. Don't think I'm looking on. See, I even put the triangle, so
You saw me do this.
I was like the triangle.
It's so true because everybody whispers around the
Yeah.
corner, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Get in the op," right? Yeah.
The
The
patient
patient
needs a
wants
night
to.
guard.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
No, I hear you
No,
on
it's
that one.
great. It's
Yeah.
great.
Ms. Jennifer, the biggest issue that has come about in dentistry, that has been like one of the topics that is being talked about all the time, is the retention part of dentistry has gone down. What is the pattern that you're seeing? What do you think is the cause that the retention as far as the staff has gone down? It seems like people get into dentistry, but then they get out of it.
Yeah. Or
Why
they
do you
move
think?
around.
Or they move around a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
me, I even the doctors. I mean, I see doctors like, I was just talking to one of my classmates. We graduated together. I mean, in the past 3 years, he has jumped probably 3 to 4 different companies because it just, I don't know what it is, but like I just want to know, like, what is the problem with the organization that this retention has become such a big problem in our industry?
Well, that's a fabulous question. Sometimes when it becomes all about the numbers and it's only metric driven, profit driven, it drives people away. We have to remember, first and foremost, as team members, we're people. So we should say good morning. How was your weekend? Do you want to have lunch together? Like, really basic needs. Do you have any kind of team meetings? Because so many practices that I work with for Hygiene Headquarters, they've had no meetings in 2025. Or the communication is like the game of telephone. Tell so and so and so and so. So the message isn't clear. Or there's no job accountability. What are the expectations? What are production goals? You're really killing it at the scanner. Could you be the scanner champion? How do we lift people up, build people up, and they're going to stay? But when there's no interaction on basic human needs, they're gone. They're gone. They're just trying to search. And then lastly, I would say, throw in our lovely millennials. And you're lucky, my friend over here, lucky if they hang out for a year. And with the year, they might have had 2 or 3 jobs because they're not like someone like me who's a little more seasoned that, they hang around. And that's okay too. But it's something that the industry has to pivot and meet their needs. They're not going to work 6 days a week nonstop, right? Even if they have school debt. I've interviewed team members and they're like, I want to work Monday, Wednesday, and Friday because I need a day off in between. I'm like, what? Right? It's just everybody's different at what they want today, and we have to meet their needs. I'm sure you see it all the time in patients that don't want to come at certain times, team members who only want to work 4 hours and then go for a nice bike ride. Like, there's all sorts of different things that are happening out there. Retention, I think, is really important at the practice level. If you have turnover, you really have to self-reflect. What is working and what isn't? And I believe in exit interviews because I feel like you can gain a lot of knowledge to help the next person coming in and respect that person going out. And people have left our lovely dental industry since the pandemic and decided, I don't want to do this anymore. And it's really sad, right? For those of us that love it and have a passion, we want to make sure we lift each other up and mentor them, not beat them down. So the world's a better place when we can be kind.
Yeah, absolutely. Masu, you hear that? You got to be kind to me, Masu.
That's right. That's from your Canadian friend. Please be
Yeah,
kind.
that's the one weakness of Canadians, I would say. Like they're always kind.
We are. We are. We are. We're like, oh, so sorry. Sorry about that. And it's like,
Oh yeah.
well, what'd you do? Nothing.
You ride
You know?
over them on the street, and the person on the street says,
So
sorry,
sorry.
sorry, I
Sorry.
wasn't supposed
There.
to.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Miss Jennifer, lately I've been thinking about the life of a human being, and
Hmm.
really such an interesting story that, so far with 8 billion people, anyone ends up with it in a different place, in a different story,
Yeah.
and no one's story is really the same. That's just quite amazing to me. And all the decisions and all the concerns and all the worries that you have, when you are, I don't know, at the young ages and you have to figure out your life.
Hmm.
So, like, when you were in the ages of like 2021, assuming you are above 21, right?
I am. You're so sweet. But yes, I am. I could
um,
probably be your mom, but that's okay.
I don't know. I was going to say something else, but okay. That's okay. What got you into the path you are in right now, like into hygiene,
Yeah.
into
Thank you.
dentistry at all?
Yeah. So dental hygiene found me. I didn't sit there as like a young girl thinking, I want to be a dental hygienist. In a nutshell, I got hit head on by a drunk driver when I was 21, and it put me in a coma for 2 weeks. My parents were told to plan my funeral. I did not remember a thing. So I woke up, doctor at the end of my bed saying, Jennifer, how many fingers? I saw the fingers and two. And over his right hand shoulder, believe me or not, I saw the light. I don't even know how I remember it, but I knew, this could be my time to go. Luckily, here I am, you guys. I didn't go. My parents didn't have to work on that funeral, but it took me a year and a half of rehabilitation. And I don't remember this, but my family tells me I had the best healthcare workers, the team. They cared about me. They loved me. They were strangers. I didn't know how to brush my teeth. I didn't know how to tie my shoes. I didn't know how to type. I didn't know how to wash my hair. I knew nothing. So, with their support, occupational therapy, massage therapy, psychiatrists, speech pathologists, you name it, they brought me back to life. I'm a brain injury survivor. The light switch went on, but it was through their compassion and constant caring for 2 years to get me to where I am. And so, even though I don't remember what they did, because I didn't remember, I always thought to myself, I need to be in healthcare because you can make a difference in somebody's life without really even knowing what you're doing. So, I went into dental hygiene and I loved the autonomy of it and trying to make people feel good. So many of our patients come in and they've got their hand over their mouth because they're embarrassed of their smile. And how do we make them go away and feel good? And that's exactly why I wanted autonomy. My mom's a nurse, she was a delivery room nurse. I didn't want shift work. With my accident, it set me behind a few years for school. So I didn't want to go be a dentist, but I truly love being a dental hygienist, giving back to people, helping them. In the dental office, some of our seniors, they come in and they turn their calendars over because they still have paper calendars. And we might be the only social outing of the month for them. And a smile, just listening to them, we can really make a difference if we just stop thinking about ourselves and start thinking about what we can give to others. Because I know for me, those healthcare teams, they made a difference in my life. And if I can help one person every day, that's what I want to do.
No,
So
that's
sorry for that long-winded answer, but man, that
no.
car accident threw in there and that sort of changed
I
everything.
I was like, Miss Jennifer, can you please just stop? I was like, man, I was about to turn my camera off.
You don't have to because I survived, right? Here I
I know,
am.
but I was like, oh man, that got
And,
deep. That
and
backfired.
and I remember who you are, so it's really good.
I honestly, the reason why I got a little emotional there because I'm glad that we meet people through our journey, but we each have our own unique journey that get us to where we at, and to come out of it and turn it into a positive light. I think that's such an amazing thing, and being able to like see that, it's amazing. I really appreciate you sharing that, because I think
Thank
that's
you.
such an important thing for other people to hear, that no matter what happens in our life, man, we can always come out and just do something positive for ourselves, for
Yeah.
others. So I
Yeah.
really truly appreciate, and I'm so
Thank you.
glad that you're here, because Masu was just texting me saying, man, she's so fun. Let me ask more questions.
Well, thank you. I have to say that I also am really glad that I'm here because I made 2 new friends, and we have passion and drive for helping people, and
Absolutely.
we got to laugh a little every day. Dentistry can be pretty stressful, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nobody's running through that front door of the dental office like, "Yes, I'm here." So, it's tense sometimes, and
Yeah.
just a couple little laughs in the day, and really, the team loves it. That's part of retention. Let's have a
For
little
sure.
fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
So
was just
totally.
it's so funny. We were just yesterday, my assistant, I was like, if I walk into the app and one more patient tell me they hate being here, I'm just
Oh,
gonna complete the sentence. As soon as doc, I'm like, I know you hate being here. Let's move on to
already been there, done that. Yeah, I
I'm
know.
like, so yeah, I know how that is.
I know, I know. But then you create a beautiful smile for them, and then you're their best friend,
I know,
right?
but yeah, it's just yeah, I actually made a TikTok about it last night. So guys, go check out my TikTok. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay, I'll check it out. I love TikTok. That's awesome. That's good.
Go ahead,
That's
Master. You can
good.
ask question. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, you were explaining like your story in a very good way, very deep.
Thank you.
And now let me ask a follow-up question to that. If you could, if people were to make a movie out of your life, right?
Yeah.
What genre would you think it would be?
Mm.
Mm,
We have to tell you, this is a good one. I always say, I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie Eat, Pray, Love with that's kind of like my life story, but a genre of movie, we got to have a dash of drama, love change, and we have to have comedy because honestly, like life is tough enough sometimes that you got to laugh, right? And
mhm.
laughing feels good. Like, yeah, I'd like to be a comedy.
A
Yeah.
comedy?
Yeah. Like,
And would
but
you
it's,
like the main character? Or, there's always someone that's a friend of the main character. Like, which one would you like?
yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not like a joker. My life's not a joke, but it's you gotta I don't know, like it's a story. It's some kind of story with a very happy ending. Happily ever after is my story. So I don't know what genre we're gonna put that in, but that's how I see it.
No, that's quite interesting. And where do you like the happily ever after that you mentioned?
hmm
Where do you see yourself like in 5 years, 10 years?
Yeah,
What brings you joy, pretty much, if I may?
I love to travel. I love to travel. So I actually just came back from Punta Cana on Sunday, and my family. I have a 25-year-old son. My partner John. I have so many amazing friends. Like truly, my very best friends in my life are my high school friends. So we just had our Christmas party, and knowing them from when we were 13 to now, they're a big blessing in my life. People who've seen you through everything, you name it. That's like, I love to spend time with them. We make Christmas urns. I don't know, we laugh. We tell the same stories over and over every time we're together. Like, it's crazy. Just, you know what? Honestly, making the most of my time because we can all make money, but the one thing we can't get is time. So
Hmm.
I make sure my time is really well spent each day, just like right now, right?
Yeah, so we appreciate you spending a bit of it with us, on us.
Thank you. It's
And
great.
Jennifer, in terms of like the market that you see here in Canada, and you
Mhm.
mentioned that you're slowly going into North America.
Yes.
How would you compare like the American market, the American model of dentistry to the Canadian one? Because I think
Yeah.
Canadians are so backward. The technologies that they use and everything, like take it from the PMS all the way to the other things that we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, so Canada and the US, I find like my US dentist friends, they make decisions pretty fast and
Mm-hmm.
they will invest in their teams rather quickly. They get results like faster. it's a different feeling. Canadians, we take a little longer to make some decisions. We've got to really research and think about it. And of course, we're going to ask some friends, either our dentist friends, hygiene friends, and then, we go ahead and make a decision. But we've probably taken way 3 times longer than our American friends. So PMS systems, so many different choices, craziness, technology, our technology between digital scanners, artificial intelligence, the US is way ahead of where we are. Canada is trying, but we're a bit more of a slow adopter happening. But usually everything in the United States is way ahead of us, and then we catch up. So I feel like it will take place. Awareness, articles, webinars, people getting on your channel to watch what's going on, what's the latest, what's happening. Awareness is key, and finding people that you trust, not just to make a sale, but because they love a product, they can influence that product, but it's guaranteed or there's a backup, I think is critical.
And what do you think that is, Jennifer? Like, is it because the market of dental in Canada is, I would say it's probably more corporate than private. But in the US,
Yeah, it's not actually in Canada. It's not. A lot of people think that because I worked for both Dental Corp and 123, the two largest
mhm,
DSOs in Canada. But the last stat I saw in the spring was, I believe Canada's only at 8% for corporate dentistry, where
really?
the United States is, I believe they shared that it was just over. So now you have to remember that the large two, Dental Corp and 123, sure, there's 1,000 clinics between them. But if we have close to 30 dental practices in Canada, that's still a really small amount. Then you have the big players in the US, like Heartland, Aspen, Pacific Dental. But the population in the US is so much greater than what we have here, that there's more opportunity for DSOs or group dentistry to happen in the US than in Canada. But in Canada, they're also saying 3 practices combined together is DSO, or dental service organization. So we just don't have the population like the United States has.
Mm-hmm.
So it will grow, but I still feel there's a big place for private practice dentistry, or I'm seeing different friends combine and buy a few practices, but they're not going to the big giants to acquire them. They're actually starting smaller mid-market groups, and they're quite happy and successful at what they're doing. So I believe one size doesn't fit all for everybody. Options are a wonderful thing.
Right, totally. I mean, the reason I said that is because I live in North Vancouver. I'm sure you've
Yeah,
been around here. It's a
I
pretty,
have. It's beautiful. Yeah.
there are 17 practices where I live, and out
Wow.
of these 17, 14 are under 123 dentists.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
area. Like North Van is
yeah.
not big of a place.
So Dr. Shivji, he's amazing. He was the founder of 123, and he lives in Vancouver. So 123 started out in Vancouver or mainland, and he's done an excellent job of, having that be part of 123 Dentist.
Mm-hmm. I see. So he pretty much started dominating everyone here, and now he's
He sure
slowly
did. He sure
armed
did. Yeah.
other
Yeah.
provinces.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And like DSOs in Canada, how would you compare them? How would you say they are different than DSOs in the US? Is it the same mindset that, they are slow, they, take time to adopt technology, or do they have the same? Because when it comes to a DSO, it's really about systems. Like you need to have very good systems in place for you to be able to handle
Absolutely.
locations.
Absolutely. But you know what? I feel that systems, it's the lack of systems, whether it's a DSO or it's a private practice. I talk about, I'm a dental hygienist. So I talk about systems. Everybody these days seem to have a temp come in. So somebody filling in for the day for hygiene. And I'm like, what do you have ready for that temp? And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, does it go something like this? Hey, Jen, thanks for coming in today. You're going to work in Op2 over here. I'm going to show you sterilization. This is how you call the doctor. We use Abledent, Dentrix, whatever it is. And oh yeah, by the way, stay on time. That's your introduction to being a temp, where I'm like, did you create a video for 1 minute? Hey, this is what our office looks like on the outside. Come on in. You're going to see the friendly admin team and they wave. And these are the ops. This is the sterilization. here's our PMS system. There's 4 doctors. This is how you get them. This is our lunchroom. You're going to have a little locker here you can put your stuff in. We can't wait to see you tomorrow. What a difference, right? So regardless if that's a system, if you think, oh man, that temp's asking for $12 more an hour, but you've done nothing to set him or her up for success, that's on you, the practice. Systems, anything we repeatedly do in dentistry and dental hygiene, dental assisting, we need a system. And so it doesn't matter if you're one solo office or you have 550 offices. If you don't have systems, you're truly and honestly, you're winging it. And the best system is, what's your goal for 2026 financially? And how are you going to get there? I say, doctors, tell me your goal. So if they say their goal, and then I'll be like, okay, so how do you plan on reaching it? And they're like,
That's
well,
brilliant.
right, we're going to do this. And I'm like, okay, we have to break it down to the month. And then we have to break it down 52 weeks in the year. What services, like our adjunctive services in hygiene, desensitizing, teeth whitening, laser, is your team trained? And can they talk about it? Because that's a big thing. All systems. Systems create clarity, but systems create profitability. So I ask everyone on this, video here, rate your systems on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, not just one system. I always ask about accounts receivable because I want to know how much money is owed. And when they go, I don't know, I'm always like, my goodness, because that means there's broken systems all over because somebody needs to be accountable. And as you can tell, my friends, I love systems. That's what I do at Hygiene Headquarters. I systematize so there's clarity. Whether your hygienist gives, I'm going on mat leave, no problem, because everything's in place. Anything we repeatedly do has a system because I want you to be profitable. I want you to be happy. But if we have no systems, everybody's doing their own thing.
I love that. I love that so
Yeah,
much.
systems are
Thank you.
System.
Who knew that systems could be so fun, right? It's crazy.
Ms. Jennifer, the one thing I wanted to ask you, going back to the things you talked about, because like for me, there's something happened in my life that got me to this point. I came from Iran. Masu came from Iran. I went through refugee camp in my life, so that experience changed certain perspective in my life. The one thing I wanted to ask you, going through that experience that you went through with your accident, and from the doctor telling your parents to get ready for that, and then you coming back from that, how did that change your perspective to the way you view life? Because some experiences change how we see things. And I really want to know, how did your life kind of change after that? How are you viewing life going forward?
Yeah. Absolutely. It changed my life, but I don't think I realized in my 20s quite as much as I do as, I got older. But I realized that I got the gift of life for a reason. So I don't know why, but I know that I'm here to serve people. I'm here to make people feel good about themselves. I always try and work towards strengths. We all have things we can improve on, always. But why do we have to beat each other down all the time? Let's work towards strengths. Let's find the good. Let's be kind. I'm here for a reason, and it's to serve others. That's what I figured out through my journey, that it wasn't my time, thank goodness, but I better make the most of my time while I'm here.
And that's amazing. I love
beautiful
that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. Can
Also,
I ask?
before you ask, go
Yeah,
ahead,
go.
please.
No, no,
You go
no,
ahead.
no, no. You go.
No,
There's
you
no.
go. No, go you.
Sorry, we're fighting over asking questions, getting that.
Masu, you go.
So, Miss Jennifer, one thing I wanted to ask, one methodology you used, which I really liked, was like you ask someone what their goal is, and then you break it down to 12 months, then you break it down to 52 weeks. Where did you learn that? Because it's a very effective method. Because sometimes, like every time I want to set my goals, it's like that. You set too high goals, and then you get overwhelmed.
I
And we have
agree.
in our say that if it's a too big of a stone that you want to throw, you never end up throwing it. Like it's a slam. You don't exactly. And I use that methodology, and it works always.
Good. That's why I
Yeah,
knew we were friends. Yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome.
we are two Canadians. Come on.
I feel like if I say to a doctor, how much do you want to make? And they say, Jen, I want $5 million this year. And we're in December and, what have you planned? And he or she says nothing. Like, did you just throw a number out there to go 5 million because it sounds pretty awesome? Or like, where were we this year, the year before? Like, we have to have realistic goals. Are you opening any hours? So I call it like when I look at dental hygiene too, if I put a big onion in front of you guys, gross production is just that. But in hygiene, we peel each layer. Is it prophy, perio, fluoride, x-rays, whitening? We have to know all those pieces. And instead of going like a month is way too long because I can't help you after 30 or 31 days. I need to know at day 7 what happened in week 1. So that's where I love the week because maybe you get a snowstorm and your patients cancel that day. So I don't go day by day, but I definitely go week by week by week. Bite-sized pieces, celebrate what's working well, and then you have an opportunity to close those gaps rather quickly before you're looking at the 28th of the month when the month has 30 days and you're like, oh, we're down, X amount of thousands of dollars. We just work in small blocks and it feels like digestible. People don't get all worked up or upset. I've seen so many of my doctor friends, in November, they're like, I did not make my goal. I'm short 2 million. Well, in 45 days, like, I'm not sure, unless we're working around the clock here, I'm not sure what's going to happen. So actually really understanding and knowing your numbers, measuring what matters makes a big difference. And it's okay for dentists to say, I don't know how to do this because I went to dental school. I didn't go to business school. So that's where people like myself and other consultants, we make it easy to achieve your goals.
And where did you learn this methodologies? Like, was it through your years in the
Yeah.
practice?
It was seeing, observing, listening. I'm a sponge. A lot of times I'm watching what's happening.
To
Who
absorb.
knows what? What are you doing? And then how do we make this better? That's how my brain always works. How do we make this better? How can we make this easy? And that's where the systems, let's keep checklists for people. Let's have small, short clips for the team members to watch. Something so simple in your dental practice. Does everybody answer the phone the same way? I often ask dentists, do you ever like listen to calls? Because I've listened to them and it's like, hello, ABC Dental. Well, who's going to book with someone like that, right?
It's a horrible.
So, like versus, hello, ABC Dental, Jennifer speaking. Like so much better than I sound like I just rolled out of bed, right? So I have tons of tips and tricks and things to learn. I just be a sponge, everybody, and keep listening and learning and just pick one thing and do it really well for 30 days.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
You
That's
guys are awesome. Thank
Masu, you can ask one more question, Masu. It looks like he wants to.
no. You go. Look. I'm not gonna ask it.
you.
You offended.
No, Jennifer, the one thing I want to ask you, we talk a lot about systems in dentistry, and I even, the practice I'm in now, and I'm trying to kind of help them understand. This is the one thing that has been the biggest struggle at the practice that I'm in. I'm like, guys, like if you don't have a system and you don't understand where you're at, you're never gonna accomplish anything else because you're never gonna grow if you don't understand what you're not doing the right way. That's been the struggle. But the one thing I want to ask you is at what point in a dental practice you can say, because we have so many things in dentistry, right? From the AI to this to that, like technology is unlimited in dentistry. But at
Sure.
what point a dentist or a dental owner or an owner of a practice can say, I have a system and these systems are working? How do you measure the success of that system? Because that's the part that we don't know. Is it working? Is it not working? Like, how do you measure the success if the systems are efficient?
So for me, for dental hygiene, it's very easy to measure the systems. So how we bill for our services are very different from Canada and the US. In Canada, it's all per unit of time, or like fluoride has its own procedure code. So I take how many dental hygiene patients were in last month versus how many fluoride varnishes were billed, and I divide those numbers and it gives me a percentage. So if you're at 12%, you're like rock bottom. The industry standard is 90% for fluoride varnish. And I know you might go, whoa, that's really high. But when I went to school, we learned kids, a mixed dentition, and seniors with root exposure got fluoride. We now know better than that. Our adults, like if I asked you guys and put you on the spot and said, what did you have to drink today? Could have had coffee, could have had orange juice, could have had, yeah, you could have something, things like Monster, Red Bull, they're almost equivalent to battery acid. So nothing beats a professionally applied fluoride. But we're not talking about it in dental practices. Hygienists think, hey, you just want me to sell more. I don't want you to sell anything. I just want to see consistent education. I give all my practices that I work with pH charts. Have a patient look and say, hey, Mrs. Jones, what have you had to drink in the last 24 hours? And we show them the acid attack that's going on constantly in their mouth. Because as adults, we don't drink a drink just like this and we're done. We sip, we sip. So I can show the dollar value, where the gap is, where the gain is. For dentists, if you have high turnovers with assistants, very simple tray setups. Use an iPhone and take a picture and have a digital thing on your computer. If the doctor has an implant, this is what I need to set up. Pictures, maybe the names on them. For a root canal, what needs to be on it? We're all visual people. So it's a lot easier now with cameras and things like that to create a playbook, a manual full of pictures, digital, use AI to make a manual. And don't get overwhelmed, but I would say the hardest things in the practice, what's not working well? It's a team meeting. What's not working well for you? And if we had a system, what would be better? And pick 5 things. You might have a list of 50, but don't get overwhelmed. Just like we said, instead of 52 weeks, we go 1 week. Same thing with systems. It'll take you a whole year to get them all in place, but where is the bottleneck in your practice? And that's where you start first. And one of them is how you answer the phone. Tone, body language, and what you say is a big deal because I've listened to thousands of calls and was shocked. Yeah.
Especially when it's 7:30 in the morning and then they just woke up. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you
Hello,
want from
hello,
me?
hello, ABC Dental. Okay, hi, good morning. It's like not good. And then you wonder, well, why do people not book? Well, I know exactly why, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely. I think, going back to what were you saying, it's like when before I got into dentistry, my I had a mentor that was a dentist in Virginia, and he said, if you're not personable, if people don't like
Mm-hmm.
you, if your tone is not right, don't get into dentistry. You're not gonna succeed ever at it because we're not able to connect with people. We're not really able to like present who we are, and it just makes it harder and harder. And I
Yeah,
see a lot of dentists, man, that they struggle with that. So that's why I'm like, man, that's rough.
that's
That's
good.
rough.
That's so good. It's so good because patients know you're a dentist and they're proud of you for being a dentist, but they really don't want to hear the technical side of what you're going to do to them. They want to know that you see me as a person, that maybe I had to save some money for this implant or whatever it is. So please treat me like a person and don't tell me all the technical sides. I always say dentists don't need more leads to the practice. They need to have better conversations, right? When you're human with people, they could relate to you and they see he's a nice guy. He cares about me instead of, I'm going to use this file. And then, they don't want to know those kind of things. It's just be a real person to them. Yep.
No, I love that. And the final question, Master, then I promise you can ask the next one. What is because, we talked about, everybody talks about team morning huddle. It's so important. It's so important. In your experience, what is the most efficient and effective way to have those morning huddle? Because sometimes, even at my practice, I'm like, okay, we have a morning huddle. What are we talking about, right? If
Yeah.
we're just
Yep.
going through it and we're talking about random
It's a
things,
waste of time. Yep.
waste of time.
Waste of time and money. So the morning huddle, to me, the morning huddle should never be me saying, "Fuck, at 8 a.m. I'm seeing, Charlie Brown for the recall, the this, the that." I shouldn't tell you what you already know. I need to tell things that are not on the day sheet. So I need to bring up outstanding treatment on the treatment plan so that when you walk in my room, you might not remember because it might be afternoon or something, but my intraoral camera picture is because tooth on the lower right molar needs a crown and the patient hasn't moved forward in 3 years. I also want to bring up at that morning meeting to the admin team, there's 3 family members that haven't booked their next appointments. At 2 p.m., we have an opening in hygiene. Anybody who has somebody who can move over and fill that spot, this is a 911 because I focus on the schedule today is the most important thing. And then the schedule tomorrow is the next most important thing because without patients, you don't make any money and you have all these openings. And we could talk all day long about what that cost is to a practice of doing it. But a morning meeting, morning huddle is 5 to 10 minutes, just filling the gaps, not going over what you already know. Any questions that need to be asked to the dentist, depending where you live, in which province or state, for radiographs, for scans, lab cases, anything that can help our day run smoother. Might be like, at 2 p.m., at 10, 2, at 3, 4, I need help with probing or, how do we do this so we're not fumbling around? Same with scanners, should be identified in a morning meeting. I'm scanning these 6 out of 8 patients. I'm going to need the scanner at 9, 10:15, 11:30. My day's organized. No more running around and wasting time.
I love that. That is
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
It's systems, you guys. My middle name should have been System, right?
Jennifer Systems Turner. Absolutely.
Yes, exactly. My mom got it. Mom and dad got it wrong. They called me Jennifer Lynn, but it should have been Jennifer Systems.
Well, Miss Jennifer, that's gonna be the title of this video that's gonna go.
Jennifer Systems Turner.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
That's awesome.
We're marketing it, we're going all out.
We are. That's good. Yeah. But you can see how it just falls into place. It creates clarity. You know what to expect. You know what your outcome is.
Yeah, I love that. Miss Jennifer, you have been a joy to
Thank
have
you.
you on the podcast. I am super, super glad that we got to meet in person.
Me too.
Your smile, your personality, you're just coming through the camera, how genuine you are.
Oh.
I am super grateful that I got to meet you. We
Thank
can
you.
add one more friend to our list of our friend in dentistry.
Yes.
If you ever need anything from Masood, from me, we're always here for you. I
Thank
really,
you.
truly appreciate your time. These conversations are so important for the future of dentistry and where we're going. Jennifer, thank
They
you so
are.
much, man. I'm so grateful
Thank
to have
you, guys.
Yes.
I'm so thrilled to have met you. And when I come to your cities, get ready because I am going to call you up and say,
Yes.
no, I'm coming. Let's go have a few laughs, right?
Talking about my city, Jennifer, right?
I'm coming. You
That
went. I'm
is.
coming to you
Yeah.
first, but I
Dr.
will
Milad
make
is
it.
not the most fun. I am the fun one.
We'll make it fun. Don't worry.
Miss Jennifer, thank you so much. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you, guys. Thank you.
Yes.
Pleasure. Have a good time.
Same.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.